Hey, I was just thinking, I'm making some phone calls now and I've had some good conversations. Everyone is just like, the theme today is like everyone's going through it. So, several people I talked to whose homes did not sell, they are or were going through a divorce. And it was tumultuous, it was amicable. And I remember thinking when I was first an agent, a large part of my business were short sales, and through the short sale, sometimes financially the couple couldn't recover and their marriage didn't survive. And I got on the list of a few divorce attorneys. And I thought, well, unfortunately, with the statistics the way that they are, and I think January being the highest divorce month, the highest month that folks file for divorce. I don't know what I'm trying to say. The month where people file for divorce most is January. That's what I heard. Anyway, as a realtor, if that's something that you can feel compassion around and can feel empathy and help, create a plan around, it might not be a bad idea for you to get in touch with some divorce attorneys locally in your area and ask them if they have a trusted realtor that they recommend their clients. I will tell you this. One of the things that I found in working with divorced couples or divorcing couples is that a lot of real estate attorneys don't know some of the best practices that could save their client time and money. And so, or maybe they don't want to, I don't know. But I'll tell you, here are my suggestions if you're working with somebody that's in a divorce. Number one, find out if it's amicable or not and really kind of lay out the plan for being able to talk to both attorneys separately and just really kind of establish yourself as a non-biased party in the transaction. So, establish yourself with both parties as hey, I'm a neutral party here. I'm here to make this go smooth in the midst of something really challenging and, a chapter closing for you. That really helps. Offer to have separate texts. Still coughing. Offer to have separate text messages between each other, offer to be a mediary between the attorneys, offer to loop in however, those attorneys are. Hang on a second. Another really cool thing that you can do that can save your client money is kind of establish with the client, get all the boundaries set up, as many boundaries as you can set up before the MDA is created. And what I mean by that is, if you have a client who has to sell a house, it's $500,000, and let's just use the husband and wife example today. The husband and wife are divorcing. They really don't want to talk to each other. It's not contentious, but it's not great, and it's a divorce. I might say, okay, husband, why don't I talk with you about what I think we can get for the house? I'll talk with wife about what I think we can get for the house. It would be really advantageous once we select, the agent, if it's me, that we get your attorneys to actually write my name in the MDA. And we would say something like, both parties agree that Jen Carstensen, the level of Memphis group, will be selling the property located at da-da-da, beginning the month of da-da-da, so that there's some leeway there, and terminating in the month of da-da-da. But my contracts are easy exit, so if somebody wants to cancel at any time, they can. The most important part of this that I'm telling you is within the space of price. Let's say that we both agree it's $500,000. The MDA could say something like this. Both parties agree that in the event of offer, as long as the offer is at least $490,000 or above, both parties agree that they will negotiate in good faith to accept as close to $500,000, but at the end of negotiating, will accept an offer of at least $490,000. Additionally, in the MDA, if you say, once the property is under contract for the acceptable price, both parties agree to work in unison towards an agreement of repairs not to exceed blah, blah, blah. So let's just say $2,000. What this all means is, I don't care. You guys are we're not gonna nickel and dime, right? So if we have and we're gonna keep it out of the court system, keep it out of the attorneys who charge $1 bajillion an hour. This is gonna be all pretty simple, right? So both parties agree that we're gonna list the house for $500,000, and we're gonna, an acceptable sales price minimum is whatever we establish. Then we're also gonna say, in the event of a repair request, the maximum both parties agreed to pay is da-da-da. And then we can work, within that path to get both parties in agreement. Additionally, if the home doesn't appraise for the purchase price, both parties agree to whatever they agree to. I found that when you do this, it really makes everything go so much smoother. What makes things go crazy is one party wants to use one realtor, another party doesn't. One party is living in the house, the other party isn't, and the party that isn't living there wants to sell, and the party that's living there doesn't want to sell, and it just gets chaotic and very expensive. So those are my tips if you're a realtor and you want to get into the divorce world. Those are some helpful tips to ensure a better course versus just kind of going in without anything written and without anything that the courts have helped to decide. So hope that helps.